Again, that kindly story, the place me life began. Oh, the boys upon the shore who wandered far around. Oh, could you sound beyond the mountain, up in further Roadie? We search for birds through every forest, from Lither to the Mean. We sang for joy beneath the sky, as through the fields we run, with the boys of Xtra.
How does that feel on stage there? Yeah. Don't be afraid of the mic, get right into it there.
Lick it, Charlie. Johnny Mix.
Thanks very much.
Down there. He's here, is he?
No, he's gone back. What music do you want played?
Xtra, soft song.
Bit of David Guetta, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Eddie's finished and you just grab Mike and Harry, hook it back to the big man on the things.
Which is the first instrument going to give you trouble?
Strings is going to break Mike and Harry, we'll shouting it out. I don't know, they're fairly fresh. We'll see.
I think you did.
Hi boys.
Hi Sean.
February 2nd, 10 years now together. Yous are in the Moat Theatre. How you feel now?
Good. It's great. We're just about, I don't know, what are we, less than an hour from the show now at this stage, and the old nerves are kicking in a little bit. It's a different kind of show from our home kind of audience point of view, where it's a theatre kind of show, so it's different. It's something to celebrate the 10 years. It's been a great 10 years. It's been a long 10 years. It's been 10 years that's kind of been like a roller coaster. There's been lots of ups and lots of downs and lots of in-betweens as well. So I think it's great that we've survived 10 years, and I think it's great that we've come to the point where we're celebrating tonight the achievement of being together and being on the road for that length of time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's as Mick was saying there. This is our first theatre show to do in Ireland. Full theatre show. We've been involved in a couple of shows that we played a part in, like the 1916 Lake Regale show. We've done a couple of songs in that. But this is what, especially some of us, we go to see a lot of bands when we're off, and most of the gigs we go to are theatre shows. So we'd often sit fairly close to the front, and you're turning that around tonight. You know, you're going to be looking out at the lad that's sitting in the front row tonight. So it is a little different, a good bit different, and a small bit nervy, but sure, as I say, we're amongst friends and family and the best, you know, and to say that people take an effort to come to a show is great. So please God, it won't be the last.
are the great preservationists and custodians of the true history of Ireland. You won't find the true history of Ireland in the revisionist publications. You won't find the true history of Ireland in the history books. The true history of Ireland is contained in our poems and our songs. Back to 2008, when I first encountered the Druids. It was in the corner house in Clane. They were in a back lounge, but they had a vibrant passion and a raw energy that suggested there should be a lot more than the backdrop noise in a pub in a small little town. And I've been privileged to have witnessed in the intervening years that band fight to being a soundtrack in a small town pub, to being an internationally renowned live attraction. And I use the word fight because they've had to overcome an awful lot of adversity. This is the 10th year celebration gig here tonight at the Moat Theatre. We'd like to thank the Moat Theatre for hosting us tonight. But we went to the county council venue in our own county. The Druids are a Kildare county band. And we were told that the band, both the band and the followers of the Druids, weren't formal enough for a theatre setting. They were the exact words, and I quote them. Now, the Druids are the most fantastic people I know, and the same about their fans. From Paddy Clancy on the Hill of Allen to Henry the Hank Armstrong in Philadelphia. From Kevin the Boots Corker in Walsh Island, going to Patrick Johnson in Michigan, America. They are the finest of people. Also, the Druids are one of only 2 bands in the world that have been subjected to a motion and a full discussion in Westminster Parliament in London. And the other band were the Sex Pistols. So you have Johnny Rotten and Paddy Mangan, we're in good company. On bass guitar, on vocals, all the way from Athy, County Kildare. Could you please show your appreciation for Jim, Mr. Sean Kennedy? Ladies and gentlemen, can you please give a great round of applause to the front man of the Druids? He's one of the great preservationists of Irish culture. He's from a little town called Ballycanoe that's just outside Gorey and Wexford. Please show your appreciation for Mr. Mick O'Brien. On vocals, on mandolin. He's the lead section of the band. He comes from a place called Johnstown Bridge. Could you please put it up for our All-Ireland champion, Mr. Paddy Mangan? The women always love Paddy. But last but not least, on vocals, on guitar, on whistles and on flute, ladies and gentlemen, from the Socialist Republic of Athy, County Kildare, and fastly becoming one of Ireland's finest ballad singers, the one and only Mr. Fran O'Mara.
Jesus, I'm glad I didn't ask him to do 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for coming out. You're absolutely brilliant. It's great to see a full house here tonight, and you have no idea how that makes us feel. We're very proud this evening, I have to say. I'm so proud that we've asked another man to join us on stage. He's a great piper, fiddle player, whistle player from Athy. Will you give him a hand? Joe Byrne. Come on, Joe. It's been 10 years, folks. 10 years of ups and downs, roller coasters, getting ourselves in trouble, trying to get ourselves out of trouble. But we made it. And
We feel great this evening. We feel very proud actually this evening, to be honest. And we'll start off with this great song, and we'd love to invite you to sing along with us all the songs that we sing tonight. And you know, kind of clap your hands and sing along and enjoy the show. That's what's most important for us this evening. This song, ladies and gentlemen, we recorded about 2 years ago, probably 2.5 years ago. It went viral for us on YouTube. At this stage, I think it's got close to nearly 70,000, 80,000 hits on YouTube, which is a lot for us. It gets airplay really extensively across the States and into England and Scotland. And we featured twice on Irish television with this song. They played it on Irish Music West TV down in County Galway or Mayo. Paul Claffey and the boys, so fair play to them. We met Paul Claffey in New York, and we bribed him into playing it, so he played it. So anyway,
It was easy enough, he was drunk as a week.
and he was worse than we were finished with him. Anyway, there's a lovely poem that goes beforehand, and we very seldom do the poem, but this evening we'll give it a shot. It goes like this. Once upon a time, in the land of Hushai, round about those wondrous days of yore, they came upon a box, bound up with chains and locked with locks, and they were kindly, do not touch. It's war. So the queens issued all about, all with a flourish and a shout, and a gaily coloured mascot went treading lightly on before, said, please, do not break into this deadly box. Don't break the chains or unlock the locks. And please, don't ever mess about with war. Well, the children understood, because children happen to be good. And they were just as good around about those wondrous days of yore. They didn't break into this deadly box. They didn't break the chains or unlock the locks. And they didn't mess about with war. When Annie's the dealer, our sisters dance our grannies either, because they were kind, they were good, and they were pretty, just like that. But someone did. Someone battered in the lid, and a sort of bouncy, bumpy ball came tossing all across the floor. Bring all the things that go with war, like sadness and sickness and children crying and children dying. And what was sad was that it bumped the children mainly. I'll tell you this quite plainly, it bumps them every day. There's hundreds of them, thousands of them, sick, crying, and dying. We need to stop this ball from bouncing. We need to take this ball and put us back into its box. And all it takes is wisdom. And in this world, ladies and gentlemen, there's plenty of wisdom.
Yeah.
from Craig, over the moor and the bog, where the men on the dog lay the mother's rock, and the children and them they walked along. But when the times got rough, there was just about enough, but they saw Xtra without complaining. For deep inside was a burning pride for the sound that I love so well. There was music there in the free dairy air, and the language that we all could understand. I remember the day when I earned my first pay, when I played in a small rebel band. There is when mighty you, I could tell you the truth. I was sad to leave it all behind me, for you learn about life and found for me away in the town that I love so well. Once in a three times, how we are easy had burned. Oh, to see how it's done, when we were up to its feet, by the armored cars and the long-loud bars, and the gas that hangs on to every breeze. Now the army's installed by the old Cassiar wall, and the barbed wire gets higher and higher. With their hands and their guns, oh my God, what have they done to the town that I love so well? The music's gone, but still carrying on, for the spirit's been bruised, never broken. They will not forget till the last day have said, of tomorrow in peace once again. Let's go together. For what's done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost, sure is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for the right run you take in the town that I love so well. I can only pray for the right run you take in the town that I love so well.
There's our sound man. This is the man. If anything goes wrong in the night,
I'm very
Anything.
responsible job. And anything goes wrong, I'm responsible.
even if it has to do with the sound, he gets the blame. Come on, Gordon.
Is that right? Yeah. Big change. So, you know, where we are, so we go down, you know.
Yeah, it's starting to. Yeah, there's a lift there.
They'll be hanging out the ceiling again.
The race from the start, like, so happy days, yeah. This is what about the Europe. Fucking 11, I'll stick it out.
1 minute, man, 60 seconds.
Let's go, John.
Is that 1 minute?
Right, that's very good show.
Yeah, great show. Yeah, great atmosphere down there. All the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you please welcome back on stage the award-winning The Druids?
A couple of downs that have been very noticeable over the years. But I suppose, you know, tonight we'll focus on the positives, and there's been lots of positives, you know. Tours in America, you know.
Yeah. The downs kind of lead to the good ups as well, you know. So it's they're positive downs as well. Me and Jim are only with the boys a couple of years as well, but we've followed them for the 10 years as well. So we're well aware of their ups and downs, and now we're involved in the ups and downs, and it's just brilliant. And to be here doing something that we do in America, we do this over in America, different audience, different type of atmosphere, and to get to do it over here, and like what Paddy said, for people to come and see us in this setting, this is definitely one of the good ups. So happy days, yeah.
Well, you've garnered a lot of success here in Ireland, but you are also making waves over in the States.
Yeah, a lot of people might know this, but we've toured the States constantly since 2011. I think at last count we've done 17 tours in the States, 16 or 17 tours in the States, and you know, we started on just in Manhattan in New York, and we moved out to some of the boroughs then in Queens and Brooklyn and out to the Bronx and so on, and then we moved up along the East Coast, and now we find ourselves playing in places like Detroit and Cleveland and places like that. So our tours in the States are quite grueling. We do a lot of travelling. You know, a kind of a 10-hour drive would be quite normal for us in the States, from one gig to the next. But it's great, you know, it's a different audience, and people really appreciate what we do in the States. And as the boys were saying, that this is the setup we play in most of the time in the States, a listening audience where people are interested in both the music, the songs, but the stories and the culture as well, which is great, you know. So, yeah.
You're heading out in September time, you're saying, Fran?
March.
Yeah, back 4 trips this year.
Back out again in March, into Manhattan for Paddy's Week. Every Paddy's Day we play just off Times Square in Connolly's over there. We do a good long 7-hour gig in there. So that's
Bruce Springsteen gig.
Yeah, that's where we started. But yeah, Paddy just said it there. We're doing 4 tours this year into America. I'm sure it's going to build and build, but we're very, very busy out there this year. So March starts it, and then June, July, and September. So
I'm sure these American trips put a lot of strain in the band too, on the road, 10 hours a trip.
It's funny you should say that, because a lot of people would expect there to be, like Mick was saying, the ups and downs. There's very little downs over there, and we live in each other's pocket over there. There's 4 lads touring for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, and we only see each other, and we kind of come out the better with all the things. So
it's kind of like you kind of. I always feel that when we're on the road and when we're touring, that the four of us kind of put our backs to the wall, and the 4 of us are in this together, and there's something that we need to get through, and there's something that we need to achieve, and it's like we'll dig deep, the 4 of us together, and we'll get through it somewhere or the other, you know. Wouldn't that be right, Jim?
Oh, that's right. You make allowances for each other, you know. You know, when somebody wants a bit of time on their own or whatever, you know, I want to just go off for a walk, and you know, like that, you get to know each other, and you know what one lad wants to do and what he doesn't want to do. Go on.
And we arrived home on the Wednesday, I think it was, the Wednesday morning, about 6:30. And we had arranged a gig down in the Art Centre in Wexford on the Friday night. So off we went a couple of days later down to Wexford, my hometown. And I was very excited. You know, I said we'd have a full house and the whole lot. So we arrived at the gig anyway, and nobody turned up. Like, nobody at all. Not even my own fucking family turned up. And so we were just about to pack up and leave, and Gordon, that was doing sound with us tonight, he was with us actually on that one. And I said, Gordon, we'll get out of here. He says, you're dead right, Mick. So we packed up the gear, or we were just about to pack up the gear, and next minute I looked out in the audience, and there was one fella sitting about 6 rows back, right in bang in the middle. So we said, what do we do, lads? What do we do? This guy's after paying his money. Do we leave him there and feck off home, or you know, he's after paying a few bob, so should we sing a few songs? So on the point of principle, ladies and gentlemen, we decided that we would sing a few songs. So, out we went, and Gordon had a lovely sound and everything, and we sang the first song. He didn't even clap. Neither did Gordon. And then we sang the second one, and he was yawning. And we sang the third one, and I said, I said, are you okay down there? He said, yeah, I'm fine, yeah. He said, what time you finished that? I said, I don't know, why? He said, I'm the caretaker, I want to lock up.
Family man too? Would you have any family?
Yeah, I've got 2 kids, 2 lads. One of them is here. He's over there. He's not a kid anymore, but he's actually doing lights for us tonight up here. And then I have another fellow who's 13. And that's the difficult part of touring all the time, is that you're away all the time, and you know, you're kind of missing chunks out of their lives, and you're missing pieces, and you're missing events as well. And that can be difficult. There's no doubt that can be difficult. And I never forget, Fran had a new baby just a couple of years ago, and the baby was only about 6 weeks old, wasn't it? And you went on tour.
Month and a half old, and we headed into the States. It was in March, the tour in March that time. Actually, it wasn't too bad for that one around, because I didn't know her and she didn't know me. But as time goes on, I could relate to what Mick was feeling throughout the years as well. And she's 2 now, and yeah, it's tough, but like, you kind of know why you're doing it as well, you know, so it makes it all worthwhile when you do get back to them, so kind of just have to soldier on with it. And Jim is
nothing. No babies, no.
He's working on it.
We work on it, some says, well, not now.
You like an American woman, maybe?
I have a girlfriend here, but just no babies or nothing.
Not yet.
So you're taking them?
No, but I mean, in fairness to the boys, the 2 boys, Paddy and Jim, they understand the crack with me and Mick and the kids and stuff like that. So I mean, if there is ever, we've had meetings where we've had opportunities to be out in the States for a month at a time and stuff like that, and the boys understand the crack when we don't do, you know, we don't stay away that long because of the kids. So there's an understanding there. Maybe they're just getting ready for their own stuff. So, yeah.
So going back to the start, how did you come about, or how you formed?
It's a story we've rehearsed many times, to be honest, but the idea, the Druids started with just an idea. It was a thought that I had. I had been in a band previously, I've been in a few bands previously, but I've been in a 5-piece band, and we played extensively around the east coast of Ireland here. And then the recession hit back in 2006, 2007, and we ended up with a 5-piece band and no work, absolutely nothing. So the band disbanded as such. And I had always this thing in my head. I was always very interested in history, Irish history songs. And I remember my brother said to me, he said, you should start a rebel band, he said. And I thought about that, and I said, yeah, maybe we should. And I knew Paddy of a radio programme that I present. Paddy used to ring into the programme. I'd never met him, but I knew him from talking to him on the phone when he'd ring in and request a song, and I knew that he liked the same kind of music as I did, and I also knew he played mandolin as well. And then we looked for a singer, and I knew Gary Lawler, and Gary was a really good singer, and we approached him, and we started out as a three-piece. So there was myself, Paddy, and Gary Lawler, and we played for about a year together.
Yeah, close to a year, yeah.
Yeah. And then we brought in a bass player.
We brought a bass player in kind of just for the bigger gigs, because a lot of the gigs we did in was only fit for three-piece, you know, so. But I remember one time a fella said to us that a bass player would make you sound fuller, you know, better sound and all. So after that, we went and we got bass player. Darren Egan played with us and Mick Dunn. Both of them kind of chopped and changed a few times around with us, and it was great. Then the boys finished up with us in 2014, and then in January 15 we kind of reformed fully again with the two lads here, Jim and Fran. So yeah, that's the way it's been. Yeah.
And I think since the two lads have joined us, Fran and Jim, I think, you know, that the sound has really developed in the band. That's just my view of it. The sound has really developed in the band, and I think we're a fairly tight unit now at this stage, you know. And you know, it was a lot of work for the two lads to come into a band that was established already. We had worked for about 5 years at that stage, 5 or 6 years, trying to establish the Druids as a name, and particularly for Fran to come in and play guitar and sing, to take somebody else's place as such, I think it was a very difficult thing for him to do, but done it very well, I think, you know.
Yeah, the changeover was when the boys approached me to come and do it. It was only to fill in for a couple of months. I think it was like September to December, but they said, well, can you do it, like, and sing a few songs and whatever. So they handed me a playlist of like 30 songs or something, 20 or 30 songs, and in fairness, everyone put in the effort. Mick and Paddy drove up to my place every night till we got it, and we got tight, and that's where we were. So I gave them a dig out for 3 months, and I'm still here.
3 months later.
To ever understand side down in the GPO. I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had no. Let's sing it all together. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. Then take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Let's read on together. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. To take me out at dawn and I will ride. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Now as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn, as they walk out, my thoughts will be of you. And there is words upon the wall, so everyone will know. And all so much that I could see is blood upon the road.
All right, folks, you ready? On your own this time. You sing it. Here we go.
Now hear this. All together one more time. Oh, gracious Lord, be in your arms and let this moment linger. Then take me out and dawn and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye.
Thank you very much, folks. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thomas Miller, on bass guitar, all the way from the China there. This is your
after hours. He's actually been leading us for the last 10 years. He's all the way from a little village called Ballycanoe, just outside Gorey in County Wexford. He's living in Newbridge there the last couple of years. He's on power on the vocals. Let's hear the one and only Mr. Mick O'Brien!
Did you ever see yourselves lasting to 10 years, or did you always have that drive to keep Druids going?
No, I think it was. The ambition was to try and get the band to play and be established for me anyway. I thought that if we had got about 3 years out of it, we would have done well. And then when we got the 3 years, should we get 5 years out of it? And then when we got 5 years out of it, this idea of 10 years always came about. There was one time back in 2014 that we were nearly gone. And if it wasn't for Alan O'Neill, our good friend Alan O'Neill, I think we would have been gone. He put us back together, and he created a structure for us to be able to survive as a working band. Because none of us come from like the four of us are working class lads. We've grown up, and the communities we grew up in are quite the same, where we come from working class backgrounds. None of us have a business acumen as such. But Alan kind of imposed that kind of structure on us, and it's enabled us to survive, and hopefully it'll maintain itself for another while, So, yeah.
So what's the next 10 years going to be?
Oh, Jesus.
More of this, hopefully.
Yeah, I think if we could, I think we have a plan, particularly in Ireland, to do more theatre shows. If we could, I think the show that we do lends itself to a theatre atmosphere and a theatre audience, and it would be lovely to get more into theatre shows up around the north and all over the country, really, and take what we do in America and bring it here. Do you know what I mean? So that would certainly be something I'd have in my head anyway. I don't know.
No, it's like earlier on I was saying, it's a different show with the pub scene and the club scene. It's everyone there's jumping around and having the crack, and like we really enjoy them shows as well. But this show is for them people to come and see us here, and the listeners, but the theatre crowd, people who want to see us playing, who just don't go to pubs and stuff like that. So this way we're catering for everyone. Yeah. So I think this is the way forward in one sense, and not forgetting what we do, but this is definitely the way forward for us as well. So that's where we aim to be, yeah.
Well, we have to wrap up here, but I wish you all the best, boys, and
Fair pleasure.
Thanks, Sean.
have a great show.
Thanks very much.